There. Well, I'm joined now by Tom Keating, the Director of the Centre for Financial Crime and Security Studies at RUSI. Warm welcome to you. Thanks for being with us. So, as we heard there, nothing that has been found in these papers is actually illegal, but to many tax avoidance is controversial. Do you think that, in your view, it's wrong?
I think we've arrived at a place nowadays where perception is perhaps almost as important as the legal situation. The fact of the matter is, if you have enough money to pay expensive accountants, you can set up schemes to avoid tax as opposed to evade tax. But that's not something that's open to everybody. That's not open to the man in the street. That's open to those that can afford to pay accountants and others to minimise their tax bill.
And did anything actually change after the last set of papers, the Panama Papers, that also revealed a certain amount of tax avoidance by some very wealthy individuals and companies?
Yeah, there was a lot of sound and fury. I'm not sure much really has changed. The European Parliament conducted an inquiry. But the bottom line is that unless the big global governments, the UK in particular, get round the table and say we want to bring transparency to the operations of these overseas territories and other places around the world that attract this kind of business, nothing is going to change. Places like the UK need to take leadership.
Yeah, and you would think that there would be a huge incentive, financial incentive, for them to do that. Why don't they take more action, do you think?
So for the UK, obviously, the overseas territories represent a burden. This is good business for those territories. And so the question is, what would replace that business if it were to go away? I think my argument would be that transparency doesn't mean that the business has to stop. It just means that it has to be done in a way that everybody can see and can understand.
We know that the UN has shown some interest in this area and urged countries to get together. Do you think they need to take the leadership on this now for anything to change?
No, I don't think the United Nations is the forum. We've seen in the tax world common reporting standards which require the sharing of information between countries to make sure you're paying your fair share of tax around the world. The OECD has taken the lead on that. So it's the OECD, it's the G20, it's the rich countries that need to show some leadership here.
OK, Tom Keating, really interesting to talk to you. Thanks for your views. Thank you.